A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to class 11th Economics. And today we are revising the chapter Collection of Data. Collection of Data. So basically the chapter Collection of Data, which is the second chapter of Statistics in Economics, contains various methods from which the data can be collected. We all know that for doing any statistical study, we need to have or we need to collect the data, because if we are not collecting the data, then definitely we cannot reach to a study. So if I want to, or if I need to reach to any study, any statistical result, and I want to make a study, definitely the data must be collected. Now the data can be of two types. First of all, you should know the data can be of two types: primary data as well as secondary data. The question arises, what is primary data and what is secondary data? When we talk about primary data, we simply say that primary data refers to that data which is the first hand data. Primary data refers to that data which is the first hand data. First hand data means it is basically the data which is ultimately collected for the first time from the person or from the respondent. And second hand data or secondary data means which have not been collected for the first time. For example, you are going to get the information from someone, then it would be definitely known as a primary data, right? But secondary data will be the second hand data or the secondary data, where you have not collected it for the first time. You are taking that data which is already been collected by someone. That is known as secondary data. So the data which is collected for the first time is the primary data, and the data which is collected for the second time, that is the secondary data. And from the source from where the primary data is collected is the primary source, and from where the secondary data is collected is the secondary source. Now you should know the meaning of investigator and numerator. Investigator is basically a person who plans and conducts the statistical study, which means, suppose if I am the person, if I am the investigator, means I have planned and I have conducted the statistical investigation, that is known as investigator. But numerator will ultimately the person which is being appointed by the investigator, who goes to the field, who basically go out in the field and collect the actual data from the person. For example, if I talk about the census of India, the government of India is the investigator, because government want to get the information of people in the nation, right? But government of India has appointed the numerators, the government teachers who will be going out in the field, and they will be collecting the data from the respondents. Some important terms, like the first one is respondent. Respondent or informant means the person who answers the questions in the questionnaire or schedule. Respondent, from where you want to get the information. Suppose if I want to get the information of Mr. A, then Mr. A is the informant, or he is the respondent, that he will be giving me the complete information, and from that information I will be filing, or I'll be filling the schedule or questionnaire. Then next comes population. Population we all are already aware of. It is the subject of the complete statistical inquiry study, which includes all the items on which we can make a study and we can do a statistical survey. So population is the entire group or aggregates of units from which information is to be collected by the investigator. Then element of the population or element of the universe, like one single item would be known as individual of the population. If population involves entire items of the universe, then one single item will be known as an individual out of the universe. Now primary source of data means data collection from the original source, which is the primary data, which means data or original data. But whenever the data is not collected from the original source, but is being collected by others, for example, it's a second-hand data, or we say that the data collected is second-hand data or past data or secondary data, in case I feel like that data I have not collected it, I have been now using it from some other source. For example, railways issues a railways magazine after every 3 or 6 months. Then if I need to get any data related to railway, I can refer to that magazine. That will be the secondary source of data, in which you will be having more cost. Definitely in the primary source of data we have the more cost. Why? Because in the primary source of data we have ultimately more source. As a result, that primary data collection is costly, because the investigator himself has to go to the area of investigation and to collect the data from there. So ultimately we can say that primary data is somewhere uh, more costly as compared to secondary data. Secondary data is less costly because you are just using the data being collected from others. So there you are just copying down it, and you are not much investing money on that. Primary will be more time consuming also, because here same reason as mentioned above, that the person has to move out in the field for the collection of data directly from the concerned person. So in that case it takes a lot of time and even the efforts also. But secondary data is less time consuming because you are just using the data being collected from others. But when it comes to accuracy, which data is more accurate, then primary data is more accurate. And about reliability, I would say that primary data is more reliable also, because here the concerned person is answering you. Suppose if you want to get the information of Mr. A, then Mr. A is answering you here. Mr. A ही आपको answer कर रहा है. So definitely reliable answer you will be getting from primary, but secondary data में you will have less reliable. Then if I talk about the originality, then I will say that primary data is more original data. Primary data is more original data. Uh, that's why it is called real time data. But secondary data is not that original because of second hand data, because you have not collected it. It is the past data that someone else have already been collected, and you are just using the data. So that is the past data, which may not be much original as in case of primary. Now, how to collect the primary data? A survey, suppose a survey is to be conducted and you want to collect the primary data, then you can collect it by even questionnaire method. I think you all are already aware of questionnaire method. Questionnaire means an instrument which consists of a series of questions in which a proper questions are written, and even people have to just read out all these questions and they have to answer on the basis of these questions only, like an interview. So what qualities a good questionnaire must possess? Some qualities are like proper instructions. There should be already proper instructions to be given before people should answer that questionnaire. They should read all the instructions, but there must be instructions in the questionnaire. Suppose if you are filling, suppose that suppose you are just filing an OMR sheet of any paper, then you can see that in the OMR sheet, first of all the instructions are written: how to darken the circles, what which pen you are going to use, what can be done in the doing or filling the OMR. So all the instructions must be given, because if instructions will be there, then definitely the respondent will be able to write the questionnaires answer in a proper way. Otherwise he may get confused and won't be able to answer the questionnaire. Then there should be, of course, limited number of questions. Limited number of questions should be there in the questionnaire, because if it would be so lengthy and more number of questions will be there, then the respondent will get bored and he will not be in a position to answer each and every question wholeheartedly. So number of questions in the questionnaire should definitely be less. Then it should be easy to understand, or simplicity should be there in the questionnaire, because if you are going for the questionnaire, then definitely it should be simple. वो simple होना चाहिए, because if it is simple, definitely questions would be able to understand, and the person will be able to understand all the questions easily, and will definitely be able to perform it and answer it properly. So there should be no ambiguity of the questions, and use of difficult words should of course be avoided in the questionnaire, and simple words should be used so that it is understandable by everybody. Then questions should be in order or properly arranged. As I told you, it should be a properly arranged questionnaire. Suppose if you are going to have an interview about a person, then definitely you should start with what is your name. So first, मतलब serial order के अंदर questions होना चाहिए. If suppose you are directly starting with that, suppose what you do or what employment you do or what is your age directly, if you start with that, I think it doesn't look nice. So definitely in the case, the question should be in a proper order, and all the questions which are related to calculation, these questions must be avoided. There should be general questions to specific questions, which means we should move from general to specific. धीरे धीरे करके questions का आपको level बढ़ाना है, so general to specific should be there. For example, all question asking personal information of the respondent should be asked first. So first of all the information related to personal questions should be asked. Then questions can be asked about a product, or then questions can be asked about the particular brand of the product. So we should go general to specific approach. Question should be unbiased. Unbiased question should be there, which means biasness should not be there. Question should not encourage the respondent to give a particular answer. For example, how do you like the taste of this high quality product? This question prompts the respondent to give a positive answer. क्यों? क्योंकि उसने already बोल दिया high quality product. मतलब आपने ऐसा question frame किया कि क्वेश्चन को देखते ही आपको क्या लग रहा है कि you have to give the positive response, you have to give the positive answer. ये चीज नहीं होनी चाहिए. Question should be like, how do you like the taste of this product? Where if you dislike the taste, you will be mentioning dislike. But पहले वाले question में जो पूछा था, how do you like the taste of this high quality product? ये तो biased हो गया, जहाँ हमने पहले ही बोल दिया कि हमारा प्रोडक्ट जो है वो बहुत हाई क्वालिटी है. ऐसे क्वेश्चंस अवॉइड करने चाहिए. Question should be non-controversial. Of course, questions should be based on non-controversial topics. Any controversial topic should not be there. वो बिल्कुल भी नहीं होना चाहिए, and we should definitely avoid any controversial topic. Then questions should avoid calculations, because everybody is not familiar with the calculations properly. So definitely it will be a very tough task for a person who avoid calculations to fill the answers in calculative form in the question. Questionnaire must not contain all these questions which are calculation based. Then question may be added which help in cross verification. Such question may be asked which help in cross verification. कुछ ऐसे questions होने चाहिए जहाँ पे cross verification हो सकता हो. Because अगर ऐसा हो जाएगा, cross verification वगैरह हो सकेगा, तो reliability थोड़ी ज़्यादा maintained हो जाएगी. Closed-ended questions should be there, like that can be answered by, for example, true, false, yes, no, MCQ, right? Rating scale. These type of questions should be there. These are close-ended questions where you have to just give a particular answer and the answer would be completed. So these questions should be there so that it is easy to fill the answer in the questionnaire. Open-ended questions. These are the questions that cannot be answered with yes or no response or very limited options. These are basically the questions which are based on whether suppose defend or refute. So in that case, you have to just give a proper valid reason along with that. So try to just avoid open-ended. Make sure that mostly close-ended questions are being asked. Now, what are the modes of data collection? Which means after knowing about the survey and the questionnaire and how a good questionnaire is prepared, first of all, of course, you have to make the questionnaire only. Then you just go out into the audience that how you are going to collect the data. For example, even if you are going to have a personal interview, then also you must have a lot of questions, ready with you, ready with the interviewer, so that he will be just framing out the questions and he'll be just asking the questions from the respondent. So very first arises personal interview. This is basically direct personal interview. And we all know that direct personal interview means where a person is just sitting with the respondent and directly answering all the questions face to face, right? And the respondent is answering to that interviewer at that time only. When it is suitable, when the field of investigation is so small or limited. Because if suppose field of investigation is so large, in that case, we cannot go for direct personal interview. Better hoga that when we have a very small or very limited people to study, then definitely we should go for direct personal interview method, right? Then direct contact is basically when we require that there should be a direct contact made. In that case, definitely we should go for this direct personal interview, where we want that accuracy is actually more important. Accuracy is required. So in that case as well, we can go for the accuracy of data, that we can go for this personal interview method. Then what are the merits of direct personal interview? The merits are like data accuracy is high, data collected is original, response rate is high. Of course, it would be more reliable data, original data, response rate will be high, because as soon as you ask the question, you expect the answer there and then, because it is a face-to-face interview, right? Then flexibility of question is also possible here. You can mold the question according to the respondent if you want, right? Plus supplementary extra questions may also be asked. If you suppose see that you have already prepared your questionnaire which you have to ask from the respondent, but you think that you should go for the other as well, which means आपको जो है डायरेक्ट उसके अंदर भी जाना है, आपको ये भी देखना है कि कुछ एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चंस भी आपको पूछने हैं, तो definitely you can ask some supplementary extra questions also in the way. But what are the demerits? It's a very lengthy process. One by one, you have to take a face-to-face interview. It's a very lengthy process. Then it is expensive or costly also, because it includes more efforts, more employees will be required, more interviewers, plus also more charging of salary or money will be there. Second is mailing questionnaire, where we just simply mail the questionnaire to the concerned respondent, and after reading the mail, he opens the questionnaire, writes answer in the questionnaire, and definitely return back the questionnaire to the interviewer. Where it is suitable, when I think that there is a lot of people in my study, large investigation I need to do, so face to face definitely would not be working in that. So let's go for the mailing only, that you just mail the questionnaire to the concerned person. Plus, it is possible only when the respondent is educated or literate. Because if person is not educated, he is not in a position to read out the mails. Definitely, in that way, there would not be any use of the mailing questionnaire method, right? So, what are the merits? This method is economical, that is less expensive, because at one go you can mail it to many people. So, it is really very economical. Then, wide area can be covered. People in remote areas can also be accessed to, who might assessed, who might not inaccessible in a person or by telephone. So we can just mail to everybody in the nation, and we can have our study result ready. Informant has sufficient time to fill the questionnaire. Yes, it's some good that informant or respondent get a sufficient time to fill the questionnaire. And the data which is collected is more original, because it is just coming from the respondent only. But if I talk about the demerits, then definitely generally it is observed that informant do not take interest in filling mailed questionnaires. They simply ignore. Now see to yourself, sometimes Facebook, Insta, or any other app, they give you the online questionnaire while you're opening that app. But what you do, in spite of giving answers or filling answers in that uh, questionnaire, you simply ignore that or simply remove that from your screen. So it is observed that generally informant are not interested in filling mailed questionnaires, and even not, it is not suitable if the informant is not educated, because you need to read the questions, you need to understand the questions. But if you are not educated, you cannot operate the mail, you cannot open the questionnaire, you cannot answer in that. Face to face, so we can ask that if an interviewer, if a person even is not educated, an interviewer can definitely ask the questions from that concerned person. But when I'm talking about the mailing questionnaire, there you have to write the answers in the mailing questionnaire, right? In that case, you must be educated, otherwise you will not be able to answer it properly. Then doubts of informants cannot be cleared. Doubts of informants cannot be cleared, and this may result in wrong answers by informants. Then telephonic interview method. Third one is telephonic interview, where you are getting the information done from the telephone. You're taking information from the telephone. You are just calling the concerned person, respondent, and you are asking the questions over the telephone only, and you're collecting the information on through the telephone only. You know, it is possible when the field of investigation is large, and you cannot just have a face-to-face meeting with all. So you better think that you will be calling everybody and you'll be getting the information. Then merits, the method is economical. It's a cheaper method, less time consuming as compared to face-to-face. A telephonic interview also, which means he can go for the telephonic interview and he can actually answer the person, the concerned person, directly over the telephone only. So that can also be done in this case. Then if I say that the next demerits of this telephonic interview, then I'll say that this method is actually not suitable if respondents do not have telephone. Of course, if a person is not having the telephone, how you are going to ask the questions from that person over the telephone only? So it is observed that if a person is not having the telephone, then this method is of course not suitable in that case, right? And response rate may be low because many a times people do not pick phone, or they do not like to answer questions on phone, even if maybe questionnaire is so long, so they don't like to answer over the phone. And sometimes there can be any disturbance of like some network issues and all, so the information may get stuck or may not be received properly. Acha, pilot survey. If it comes for 3 marks individually, what is pilot survey? This is the pre-testing of the questionnaire. Suppose you have prepared the questionnaire, but before giving that questionnaire to everybody, you just make a pilot survey. For example, if I'm just making a test, an online test for you over Google Forms. So before just spreading that link to all my students, what I do, I just fill all the answers myself in the Google test to just cross check whether all answers which I have put in the Google form test have been correctly fulfilled or not. So that is known as pilot survey. Whether I'm getting 20 out of 20, 15 out of 15 or not, which means I have put all the correct answers in that Google form by mistake, any by typing error, by any other mistake. There is no problem in the Google form. So for checking that, I do a pilot survey, which is the pre-testing of the questionnaire. And this is actually very important, so that if any flaw is there, then that definitely that flaw can be tested even before only, and you will be able to rectify that flaw in a very easy manner, right? Benefits क्या है इसके? It gives a preliminary idea about the final level full scale survey. You get a preliminary idea also that whether you will be able to get it done in a proper way or not. Then it helps in testing the questionnaire also. If some questions needs to be changed or removed, then it can be done. For example, if I see that there is a problem in the questionnaire in one question, then definitely I can remove that question, or I can change that question, so that this doesn't happen. This problem doesn't happen in the full survey when it is going to be floated to the entire population, right? Then more instructions can be given in the questionnaire if respondents needs more clarifications about some questions. Then performance of the numerators can also be assessed. Now, after conducting the pilot survey, it's time to actually conduct the large scale survey or full scale survey. I hope this is clear to all.